Hi, welcome to Playful Preschool. Tonight we are discussing activities to do with nighttime. And nighttime is such an amazingly fun thematic unit for preschoolers. There's something a little mysterious about the dark and the night sky, and it is great to use this curiosity to springboard into lots of learning and play-based activities. My name is Amanda Boyarshina, and I am a co-author at The Educator's Spin on It, where we share activities and resources for parents and teachers dealing with children from ages 0 to 7. And here with me today, I have a talented Playful Preschool co-blogger, Natasha. Would you like to tell us about your site?
Well, hello, I'm Natasha. I blog at tinytotsadventure.com now. I do activities, and I try to keep them as frugal as possible for toddlers and preschoolers. That's about it. I'm about to start a new section, though, because, everybody's been pointing out that it's been so frugal to do my activities, so I'm going to start a Frugal Friday.
I think that's awesome. Because you keep showing us, don't you live close by a dollar store? So you've been showing us, learning activities that parents and teachers can make on a buck.
Yes, we love the dollar store.
I'm trying to, avoid any stores at the moment. So someone's like, oh, you're out of this. And I'm like, yes, but I have a million other things, which actually, when I get to the activity, you're going to laugh. But one of the books on my site this Wednesday, I posted a whole bunch of owl books because with the nighttime, I am an owl fanatic. We actually have an owl, resident owl, that comes and sits on our back fence every night. And he hoots so loud that he wakes the children up. And so they come running to me and they say, can we go see if we can, watch him? And I'm like, okay. So it's 2 at night, and we'll kind of go sneak outside and with our flashlights, and we try to go owling. So whenever we talk about night, we always talk about owls. So on my blog, The Educator's Spin on It, I shared a whole bunch of owl books. Of course, when it came time to sit down and have a hangout, my owl books have been privatized by a preschooler and are probably under his bed. So I'm going to share with you another one of our favorites. And this one is a picture book. It's not true. And so I kind of when I'm doing thematic units, I try to provide a variety of books, some fiction and some nonfiction, some books that are easy to read and some books that are a little bit longer with longer vocabulary. And Good Night construction site has been a favorite because it goes through and says goodnight to each of the machines. And what I liked about it is that it shows cool colors. And our project this week, we were talking about how to represent night with color. And some of the books, surprisingly, are very vibrant when it comes to representing night. So I like this book because it does show you there's dark blues, there's some whites, and there's some yellows. So not only is it a fun little story, very calming, great for your construction-loving children, but it also it's a good representation of, artwork for night. Now, did you, Natasha, said you were reading some books online. Did you have any favorites?
We did digital books this time. We did, believe it or not, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star is a book. I don't remember the author of it, but it's a really good book. And they go through the whole thing of how the star becomes and everything. And that's how I base my activities this time, off of that book. Because we moved to a house, and in this house where we at, we can see the stars. I come from a big city. You can't see the stars in the city. So we based all our activities off the stars, and that book came in handy so we can, it does the constellations and how the stars are formed, and it's breaking it down easy for them, and it's a preschool book, so it's an easy reader book too. So that's one thing I liked about it.
And I think that the nighttime theme is so flexible that you can look for books on bats, you can look for books on planets. There's a whole bunch of great moon books, like star books, like you were saying, trying to connect music, like with Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So I think that it's great because you don't necessarily have to go out and buy a whole bunch of books. You know, hopefully, hopefully we can figure out, you know, whether it's a little good night book, because I think a lot of our activities kind of tie back to books, because I know we read 10 to 20 books every day, and a lot of the
Us. I'd be so tired of reading.
My throat gets sore, and I'm like, I need a break. Just 5 minutes. Let me have my tea, and then I'm starting to say is, my voice is done. Now it's your turn. And then he says, well, I don't know what the words are. And I was like, well, listen, the first part of being a reader is telling me the story that you see in pictures, because that really is a reader.
Right.
So I'm often asked, like, how do I get my kids to become readers? Well, just start by telling the story, looking at the pictures. And most of the picture books we have are like amazing pictures that anybody could say one sentence for each page. And then you say, oh, that's great, you're an awesome reader. Like, next book. Why don't you read that one to me too? So
yeah, I have two picture book readers now.
Yeah, older kids, right? So
no, my two younger ones, they like to read some picture books. The 1-year-old enjoys looking at, oh God, if I read another book repeatedly though. But she's getting good where she reads the pictures. She can't read words, but she's good at reading pictures.
Right, and we need to keep telling them they're good readers, because that's perfect for their age level. And some preschoolers are sounding out words, but most of them are not, and that's normal. It's okay. So I keep telling myself that, because sometimes I want my almost 5-year-old to be reading, and he's not, which is okay.
He'll get there. He's at his own time.
Yeah, he did tell me today, though, after reading the ebook that I wrote for him, he said he's a reader, and he read it out loud for me, and I almost cried. So I was like, that's the first time he's thought of himself and articulated it with his words as a reader. He's like, Mom, you know, I can really read. And I'm like, oh, you can't. Tears coming down.
Don't you just love the moments?
I do. So, okay, one of our preschool team showed an activity that, have you heard of it before, Natasha? It's called a KWL chart.
No, I've seen that. I like that idea.
Oh my goodness, let me tell you. I saw it and I was like, we have got to talk about this tonight. So a KWL chart, first of all, you have to catch my kid's makeshift clipboard.
Hey, it worked.
Yeah, I couldn't find my cutting board. So you take a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be anything special. And you divide it into 3 parts, like vertical parts. And the first box is going to be a K. And the K is for no. K-N-O-W. So we're going to have, before we start any unit, so like if we're going to think about nighttime animals for this week, then I'm going to ask the child, what do you know about nighttime animals? And my child might say, owls come out at night. So,
crickets.
Huh?
Crickets. Lots of crickets.
Okay. So if they say lots of crickets, that's exactly what you write. Lots of crickets.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if it's right or if it's wrong. So if they know that lots of crickets come out at night, they'll tell you that. If they say owls come out at night, and then they say maybe bats. Okay? the middle section is going to be W. Do you remember what W is?
What is that? What I think I know?
What you want to know.
Oh.
So this is kind of where you can figure out what your child is curious about. So you ask, want to know. That's the W. So they know these things come out, but what do they want to know? Like, does your child want to know about types of owls? Do they want to know how bats use echolocation or how bats see at night? So this is a place where you can just ask them, well, we're going to be learning about nighttime animals. What do you want to know? Now my son would say, I want to know how to catch them.
I can understand. We catch the fireflies at night.
Right. I want to know how to catch them. We ended up, I have an article on the Educator Spin on it. We ordered owl pellets to dissect. And yeah, it was fun. It's a great adventure. So they actually regurgitate the pellet. So you kind of find out what they eat. So you maybe want to know like what they eat or predators. You know, each kid is going to have their own thing that they want to learn. So then the last part of this KWL chart is learn. And
what did I learn?
What did you learn? So on Monday, you might fill out what you know and what you want to know. And then on Monday night, us parents and caregivers and teachers are going to be Googling all the activities to help them figure out, you know, their specific questions. And maybe you find books or short videos or do games. One of our co-bloggers has an amazing bat sonar game to kind of teach kids how bats use echolocation at night. And so that might answer somebody's what they want to know question, you know, like a movement, a fun learning way. And then on Friday or the end of your week or the end of your month that you're learning about this, it's a good way to kind of review everything you've talked about. And then you ask the children again, what did you learn about nighttime animals? And our hope is that they might get a little more specific. So if they wanted to learn, you know, how to catch them, maybe I went online and found some like rehabilitation programs for owls or nighttime animals, and I researched kind of what they do and how they release them. And then I would talk to my child about them, so maybe they could explain that here. So it's just a way to kind of introduce, find out what your kids know, and then wrap everything together at the very end. And this can be done with nighttime animals or anything. So it's really an amazing one. I wouldn't do it every week, but when I taught kindergarten, we did it probably twice a month.
I'm going to do that with our next activity.
Mm-hmm.
That way I can see, I can get a good gauge of how much you picked up.
Yes, and I think it is a very good assessment without being a test.
Right.
Uh-huh.
I usually use games as tests, but yeah, that's a good one.
All right, so I know you and I both did some crafty stuff this week with our kids. Come on, let's see those things.
Well, our first craft was we made stars, lacing stars. Because, like I said, we can see the stars, so I focused on the stars. And really, this was for her to just do something creative, but it was really for the 1-year-old to play with. But I enjoyed letting her create for the 1-year-old. But I drew out a star on a old diaper box. I painted it up, and then I let her get fun and funky and glitter up my floor. This came in handy because in the process of And the process of us talking about the stars, when we were making this, we made this in the morning. We made this at night. I really want to show this, but it didn't come out. I want to post this one, but it didn't come out the way I expected because it had some glow sticks in here. And at night, it looked really, really beautiful. So the stars are, all these little versions of these are in here. And shake it up, and you get the moon and the nighttime stars rolling around. And because the stars that we have up in here are see-through, the glow stick made them just like pop, and they were so pretty. But it didn't photograph well. It photographed really bad.
I was just gonna say I love it because I've seen them on some sites as like calming jars.
Yeah.
And I was even thinking, talking about motivation, seems like a pretty cool activity. So maybe what I should do is set out the supplies for that and kind of say that that's like if we do X, Y, and Z, then we can get to do this. Because my kids really like glow sticks. So when they do. They'll do anything for glow sticks. I keep a stash.
I'm losing you.
Do you, Natasha, is it actual glow stars that you have in there?
No, we bought glow sticks. I was looking so hard for glow stars. But no, we have glow sticks that we put in there.
So what else did you put? Did you put stars in there, or is it just the glitter?
We have glitter. We have some stars in here. They're so hard to see because there's nothing in there lighting them up.
But what are the stars made out of?
And we have the moon. Huh?
What are the stars made out of?
You know them little pony beads? I buy them. My girls wear them in their hair, and they come in little stars too, and hearts and stuff. So I bought the stars, and the stars are clear and see-through, so they were perfect, and they all fit in there really good.
Oh, I love it.
I have little people.
Yes, my little people are just sleeping at the moment. Well, I really like that activity, and I'm already thinking in my head, I'm like, how can I adapt it with what I have on hand, because I think my kids would really like that. And it's so calming for that visual sensory need.
Yeah.
Of just being able to roll with it and play with it, and then the added glow stick benefit. Woohoo!
It's fun to make. It's really fun. Okay, so we have exactly 20 pony beads in here and 3 moons, because I made her count out 20 pony beads and 3 moons.
I love it. I love it.
But the thing is, you know how everybody makes that a lot. I see a lot of common jars with the glue, the glitter glue.
Okay. I try not to do glitter. Oh no, I think we lost Natasha. Natasha, I'm going to quick show the next activity. Just
Amanda, I think I've lost you.
I was just going to say we lost each other, but I think we're back. I was just going to show you the last 2 activities we did, and this is the one that I was telling you in the beginning. I am down to my last 4 pages of construction paper, and so at this point, I have like some projects that we're trying to make, and I'm just like, well, let's just use our imagination because we don't have the right colors. But so if I really had paper, I would have chosen black and yellow. However, you kind of just do what you do. So with constellations and the nighttime sky, I like to use chalk. And if I'm making like a little dipper, I might make the stars and connect it with chalk. Now that's one level of the activity. And the kids love doing that, and they can design their own constellations, and they can just use circles if they don't do stars yet. Then the next level, let's see if I placed my stars right, is that they take these hole punchers, and hole punchers are really good for fine motor because that writing muscle, if you do swinging or monkey bars, just kind of the repeated use of the hands to just strengthen your handwriting muscles. But anyways, they can make the hole punches where the stars are. And if you have a yellow, see, imagine yellow, even though it's red, you put it right behind.
Now you just put the tape over it and give them a string and let them lace it up.
Yeah, that's right. Here you go, lace it up. I think I might have to use like a cardboard to make it easier. But even if it's 1 or 2 time use, then what else could we do? We could have 4 of these and we could count our constellations. There you go, counting constellations.
Right.
See, we can just come up with our whole lesson plan for tomorrow. And then
so easy.
Sometimes it is like you forget that kids need easy. They don't need complicated. Like, I have to admit, I went on Pinterest and I typed in owl painting. And I was intimidated because all the kids' activities that came up looked like grown-ups or older kid stuff. And I was thinking, well, I want my kids to look that nice too. And then I got to thinking, well, it's not about what they look like, because if you stop by, you can see pictures of all of my children doing this at the same time, which I just brought them outside because otherwise it would be a mess. And the first thing I did was I had him draw the owl on a blue sheet of paper. And his owl, I thought, was really creative because he has the wings and the feet and the beak, and he said there's feathers up there. And I was like, at first I was like, oh, well, it doesn't look pretty. You know, you're like, it's not the prettiest owl. And then I thought about it. I was like, why am I thinking, oh, my kid's owl's not pretty? Like, this is a cute owl. It's a 4-year-old owl. And I think it's so
It looks like an owl.
Yeah, but it's easy to forget that what you see is not necessarily what kids are making. And
here's our Big Dipper. Exactly what a kid makes.
Yes. So I think, and even if a kid helps make it, I think it's important to remember that your child is unique, and it's important that their projects come out unique. And so even if you recreated the same style of picture that we did, your owl would be totally 100% different than ours. Unless, of course, you decided to spray.
Yeah, it'd be pink. We'd have pink owls in the house.
Yeah, well, and that's the whole thing, is that I want to encourage the creative thinking because it's so integral to problem solving in the real world. And how do you make the nighttime sky? Giving them ownership over, things that is a positive experience is kind of how I go. So this project, my preschooler spent probably an hour and 20 minutes on because he was interested.
Busy time project.
Yeah. And he actually, when he was done, he told me, he's like, I'm not done. Can I make more? I was like, okay. So, of course, he got more abstract we were splatter painting, where you take a toothbrush and you splatter paint like this outside.
Oh, that was fun.
Never do it inside. I'm just warning you, do it outside. Don't even think about doing it inside. My daughter had yellow splotches all over her hair. And he's just like, he, I'm making stars.
He made her into a big star.
I got some white paint in my hair. I was like, I think we're ready to clean up now.
And you know the best part about doing projects outside? Hit them with the hose.
Yes.
I've done lots of projects where I just hit them with the hose.
My kids are hosed off, so
And now we have nice water fun.
So now I'm trying to decide what I should do with this picture because it's cute, and I have like
hang it up.
Yes, I have like a little in my laundry room. We have one of those IKEA strings, so I just kind of clip on it. But it almost seems like it needs a little frame to make the colors pop. We'll see. So that's
yeah, keep
all
theirs hanged up. Can you see it behind me?
I did.
We hang all our stuff up.
Do you have like clips? How do you hang their artwork?
No, these are just taped on the wall. Last year we did clips. This year I've been trying to figure out how I'm gonna hang artwork. I change them out throughout the season because we do so many projects throughout the season. And I feel like one project from each one of their pictures from each of it will look nice on the wall. But this, I haven't figured out how I'm gonna hang stuff. Last year I took it and I did the lines and the clips and hung them up, and it was so pretty. But this year I don't know. I'm working on a big fall board.
I'm gonna switch you around so you can see the back side of this room.
Oh, look, is that an apple?
Is it? He painted that for me last month. I was like, I have to hang it up. It's such like a frumpy apple. I love it. So now I'm feeling a little guilty because I'm like, I'm inspired. I love all his like, the preschool art is like a little abstract, but still kind of forming. So yeah. I love, like, this is my absolute favorite stage of like writing and drawing. So I'm like, now I just want to hang all his artwork up and neglect my other children.
Yes, honey. You want a sandwich? That's the oddest things.
Sounds like you've got nighttime hungry kids. So we encourage all of you to stop by the Educator Spin on It and Tiny Tots, because we every Wednesday will post preschool activities. And so when you go on our sites, we'll link up to, usually it's 12 or more different bloggers who are also blogging and writing about the same theme. And what this means is that when you go to our site, you'll get literally an entire week of free lesson plans for your preschooler. We do try to gear our preschools for the ages between 3 and 5. Of course, if you have younger kids, you can provide more parental support and adapt them. And same thing as if you have older, advanced children. Sometimes we'll provide suggestions on how to make it more challenging, but you can use your own judgment and find ways to make your children's learning needs met. Again, it's Natasha and Amanda, and we're so glad that you're here. Happy learning.
Wait.
You're not.
If you want to watch and find out more of what we do, you should follow us on maybe Facebook, or I think we have a Pinterest board, right?
We do have a Pinterest board.
We have a Pinterest board you should follow, and you can find a lot of activities. And I know I do multiple activities, and I played some again on Facebook, and I'm pretty. You do that too.
Yeah, you're on Instagram too, right?
Yes, I love Instagram. If you really want to see how many activities we can do in a week, follow me on Instagram.
You know, I don't even know if I'm following you on Instagram now. I need to go make sure. I'm going to do that right now. I think that there may be a picture of my nice self in a swimsuit on Instagram today. It's only a partial part, so we went swimming. So yeah, I'm gonna go follow you on Instagram then. Good idea.
Yeah, no.
All right. Well, then hopefully we'll connect with you all this week. Until then, we will see you on our social media. And next week at 9 o'clock, Wednesday night, Playful Preschool activities.
Later.